right now, still waiting for the room. So, about WNX and Radiance. So, Radiance, one of the longer standing members of ENL. They've been around for ever, it seems like, in many different iterations. But even with, new name, new logo, new everything, the members have stayed relatively the same. So, they've been relatively consistent in who they run, and their performance has been really relatively consistent as well. It's just a matter of turning that consistency into productivity, because you can be consistent, but being consistent at a point where you're not getting much value, you're not getting many results isn't the same as being consistent and being extremely dominant. So I mean, Radiance is looking like they have footing. It's not like their team is anything. It's not like they're missing anything on the team. It's just a matter of putting it all together on match day, because they when they play together, when they play, I see some of them play individually, and I mean these players are good players, and I see them play together as well, and there's no doubt in my mind that these players can play. So it's just a matter of, can they convert when they're also up against another coordinated team. They have a new addition that they're going to be running today, Death, a Neo clan representative. I haven't gotten word if that has changed, but as far as my information stretches, they are representing Neo, and they're playing for this team. And a really consistent player, another consistent good player that I think will fit very well in this roster. It might be the X factor that they need to start turning their play into legitimate results. On the other side of things, we have WNX, who, I mean, as I mentioned last week Friday, this team is relatively new when it comes to ENL and relative team play. They're one of the newest players around, and they haven't been playing as long as some of these other veteran teams, but they definitely showed in that first game. It's like, yeah, they still got it. They still got what they need to get. Still have the skill and the mindset and the strategy to compete with the teams at the top of the ladder. And I mean, for them, it's the same thing. Can they take what they practice and apply it when they're under pressure, when they're against another coordinated team? So we'll have to see. In regards to me making predictions, I think with the addition of Dehe to this roster, who last season played in ENL last season for Team Lotus, I think that addition to that roster really might give WNX kind of the veteran leadership, so to speak, that they need to make sure that they're focused and getting their mindset proper for these couple of matches. If you want me to predict a result, I mean, I'm just gonna take the cop-out answer and say that this could either be actually I can't even take the cop-out answer saying this is gonna be 3-0 in a handshake, because I honestly believe this is going 5 games. I think this is either going 5 games, or whoever wins the first game will win this series. We'll have to see. I think the players to watch for this series, I think the players to watch, definitely OctoKid is the player to watch. A really good performance last season. Hold on, not last season, last week. If you give me a moment to bring up his performances. A really solid week for OctoKid. Someone else as well, Mango as well, had a pretty good week last week. Yep. OctoKid had a really good week. Again, all Ippon Katana, game. He averaged 6k points on and about 4 Ippons and 4 drones a game. I mean, that's almost exactly what you want from your Katana player. And you know, given how they did in that match, you'd say, okay, this is what you'd be happy with that performance to say, all right, now for the rest of the season, I just need to repeat. I just need to keep repeating that, you know, that level of performance. So as we see, WNX, they're all ready to go. We're just waiting on Mikey, I believe, to go switch some cards up, and they'll be right back. And once that's done, we can get right into the match. There's Mikey, and it looks like we're almost ready to go. While these teams are getting the last things finalized in their voice chats, talking to each other up, hyping each other up, the player to watch on the other side of things for Radiance, definitely Death, 100%. Prolific player, able to have pop-off games at, you know, a relatively decent rate, and I think their performance, again, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be the benchmark that WNX has to match or beat in order for them to come away with the victory. And of course, I can't forget Pumpkin, team captain. What I can do, first name that comes to mind when I think of Radiance. Their performance, when they perform well, the rest of the team performs well. You might not, you know, if you watched their match last week, you might not have thought it was apparent, but in that game 3, when Pumpkin actually performed, like you could see the rest of the team also. You know, they also started to kick back against Power Made and make that last game relatively competitive. So heading into game 1. It's looking to be a good one. Like I said, I'll bet this goes 5 games. We're going to have to see though. And remember, all eyes are on Pumpkin, Death, OctoKid, Chris. Players to watch. Because when they do well, the rest of the team does well. Hold on. So Sid, I see your fashion critique, and I just want to let you know, as of right now, you know, the accolade for the most varied outfits, the fashion specialist, is currently in your possession. You're in sole possession of it. You know, you just have an amazing knack for knowing how outfits work well together, and I have to make you a graphic specifically for that. So stay tuned. Anyway, heading into the first game, an aggressive start. Death wasting no time getting in there, looking for action. OctoKid is under some duress. Get interrupted by Chris, and Death bound, gets away. Natek also bound. Death stops Natek from dying thanks to Dehe, but might lose their life in the process. We'll see. Good reset by Dehe. Good standard combo and good finish. And WNX off to a really good start. And Pumpkin under duress once again, gets KO'd in mid, and now there's going to be a push towards WNX's winner on both teams. WNX secures it, and it's back to normal. I mean, this is a pretty big lead for WNX. Or a pretty big lead for the current game state right now. It's early game. You want to make sure that you're getting 3-to-1 drones every time, and I mean, WNX is doing just that. Good bind, but doesn't manage to save Mango's life. Unfortunate for Chris, but now Chris wants payback. Or not. Instead, chooses to go take the drone. No, I have no HP. I don't want to fight this. Good punishing blade kill by OctoKid on Pumpkin, and I mean, 1 pawn, maybe half a drone. Decent enough value for me to be happy about. Natek misses the net, which is really unfortunate because net gives you so much control over the map. And double bind by the grenade. And Dehe is gonna die to Mikey. Unfortunately, gets weapon broke and ended. And OctoKid run. Oh no! Okay, Octokid leaves Chris to die in that scenario. Mango, good Tenchi, and good parting to semi. Pumpkin capitalizing off of the parting to semi to secure the trade right back. Gets bound though by Chris, and goodbye. Go next. And I mean, still maintaining a 4K lead for WNX. I mean, they're doing a really good job in the mid game, controlling their lead. Good tornado by Deadhead to take out one of Radiance's members, and you know, I guess WNX is not settled with just a 4K lead. They want it to grow bigger. That's 6K now. Radiance not finding the proper footing that they would want in this series. Naytech taking a 1v2 fight, and unfortunately, I mean, when you're taking these 1v2s against Tenchi really puts you in a lose-lose situation, because there's no way you're getting the drone, and there's probably no way you're getting away with your life. Good job by Mikey, shutting down the punishing blade of Octokid, and the last punishment they're gonna get. So we're in last ninjutsu territory right here. If anyone is using a ninjutsu, there's a high chance they aren't getting another one, and if they haven't, then this might be the thing that, you know, decides the flow of the, or redirects the flow of the game. Right now we're winning. How does Pumpkin want to use Rocket? First Rocket got drone and Epon, which is pretty valuable, but Dehe is trying not to let Pumpkin have space to use it, but might die for his crime. Oh, pops the rocket, but gets bound by Chris. Good awareness. People normally don't look up in this game, but super good by Chris to actually make that play, because that rocket would have gotten so much value, and it is just an absolute closeout by WNX. All of their members killing, KOing and E-potting the members of Radiance. This is just a really good way to close out a game. Excellent way to close out a game, and really strong game one for WNX. They win the heat check on WNA Academy, and we'll see how Radiance wants to adjust. Again, you can see Mango, Octokid, and Chris with a solid performance, but it really was Dehe kind of playing this captain role with the team, and did wonders. So 1-0 WNX. And now if you're Radiance, right, what do you think? Right, if I'm Radiance, I'm like, all right, you know what? For 3 out of the 4 minutes of that game, we had it. Right, we were close. Like, we definitely can, you know, change the thing here, change the thing there, and we can turn that 4K deficit into, you know, a win. So if I'm WNX, I'm not panicking at all. You know, I'm like, hey, you know, we lost that game early, unlucky, but we'll see. I would 100% go for a map swap here, though. I would not run it back to WNA Academy. Again, WNA Academy is not a counter pick. It's standard for both teams. Both teams are very comfortable, very familiar with how WNA Academy works. So you just don't take them there. You know, if they beat you this soundly on that map, you say, all right, you got it. Go pick one of the other 3 maps out there. I would consider. I'll consider Eagle City most likely. I think either Eagle City or Shinobi City. Mango was left relatively unpressured that game, and that really allowed WNX to amass the lead that they did, because Mango being untouched means that, you know, all the members on, or that just means that WNX gets a constant, you know, point flow that they have. Compared to Naytech, who was getting pressured the whole game due to how Dehe was, you know, playing the harassment game consistently. Chris and Octokid as well, playing really well. For you to hate in the chat, calling it out perfectly. Shinobi City. Let's see. I think Shinobi City, I mean, they really fought back against PowerMade on Shinobi City. It was that match compared to the other 2 matches it went a lot different than before. So we're gonna have to see what Radiance's game plan is going to be. If it's going to be the same, you know, Pumpkin bringing out the Caliber, or I don't know, we're going to have to see. Because this right here, right, losing on your counter pick is really demoralizing. Really demoralizing. Like, especially when you're in the spot that, all right, we just lost game 1 by a lot, so we're gonna pick our map so we can get, you know, we can get comfortable again. And, you know, losing that exchange, you know, losing on the map that you picked because you knew you were comfortable on, especially if this map goes really bad for Radiance, it just puts Radiance's mental, like, not even anything in game, it just puts their mental in a really bad state, because you're like, wow, we really could not win on our map, or we couldn't at least make this game close. So we'll see. Radiance, I'm sure they're not too shooken up over this. I'm sure they're like, you know what, let's bring it back, we got this easy. And Shinobi City. So again, Pumpkin, Caliber, similar to last game, the last series they played, Caliber. They had Caliber, Katana, Trick Ball, Hammer, I believe, on Shinobi City, which is again relatively standard. Caliber, Katana, top 2 most used offensive weapons. You know, Skate Hammer, pretty 17 or 14% usage in ENL currently after week 1. Pretty regular comp, but on an irregular map. So let's see how Radiance wants to adjust. WNX, on the other hand, they're saying, hey, what we did last game, let's do it again. Oh, Radiance actually has double Caliber. So 2 Punishing Blades, Firestorm, again, probably going to be the biggest proponent of running double Punishing Blades this entire season of ENL. Me personally, I'm not a fan of it, only because it puts a lot of pressure on both your offensive players to actually produce with their Punishing Blades, because if they get stuffed, then there's not really going to be anyone there to help get them out of the defenseless state that they'll end up in. Pumpkin wants to start off this game on fire, and does just that, starting off with an Econ, and you love to see it, right? Radiance captain starts off swinging, you know the rest of the team is going to follow. WNX though, fighting back. Pumpkin going back in with no regard to their HP total, gets punished for it. Mango getting the Power Buster on death, securing the drone, and Radiance falls behind again early, but unfortunately for them, it's Shinobi City, it's a lot harder to come back from these kinds of leads, right? Oh, Dead misses the conversion. Very rare. Good pressure from Pumpkin, but we'll see if they manage to get anything out of it. Pumpkin continuing to go back in. Good KO by Natek. And Chris says, my teammate's gone, so I'm out of here. Death wins the E-Palm versus Octopus. They have Tornado. They're looking for a play right now. Winning this making this play on this next drone rotation spawn is going to be really big, because it will give them a window to get back into this game. You know, normally on this map, if you fall behind early, now you have to wait until big drone spawn in order for you to actually make an attempt to get back into the game. Unfortunate, Tornado doesn't get enough value, but you can see Pumpkin taking the fight to Chris. Death coming in to do our assist. And Pumpkin. Oh my goodness. Almost makes the hero play using the iframes on the Punishing Blade activation to dodge the Tornado, but unfortunately for Pumpkin, Tornado lasts something about 50 frames, and Punishing Blade only lasts 31 on the invincibility, so gets caught out right at the end of the Punishing Blade animation. Tornado proving superiority once again, and an unfortunate ninjutsu usage there, because that Punishing Blade would have been massive in getting them back in the game. Instead, it's just relatively wasted. Octo Kid, you know, trades back with their Punishing Blade, and his lead's only growing for WNX. Big drone spawn. Radiance losing their window to get back into this game. They're gonna need a handful of hero plays. Losing parries is definitely not how it happened. Pumpkin saving their teammate. This is just a bunch of parries that don't need to be taken. You get trades on both ends due to parry wins. One on Deadhead, one on Pumpkin. Octo Kid as well falls. And but like all in all, it doesn't really amount to anything for Radiance. You know, trades are not what they want. They want clean epons, clean. I mean, at this point, they can't even go for KOs. They need clean epons, and you know, they need to be able to turn those epons into actual drone conversions. Dehe, unfortunately, due to the broken hitbox on Yo-Yo, doesn't manage to get that conversion, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Pumpkin was there to save Death's life. 20 seconds left, 5k lead. No rocket on the other side, on Radiance's side. This is looking like another win for WNX. Good tornado by Death, but life's gonna be traded. Gets the drone, trades the drone for their life, and this is looking like a game 3, 2-0 lead for WNX. Signs of life in the beginning, and I mean, look, right? Look at the scores on WNX's side, right? This is they played this map about as well as I can expect them to play the map. Like, and I mean that in an absolute good way. Like, it was so good on their part, right? Like, they've literally fed Mango all the drones on the map, and their game plan was like, hey, Mango, take these drones. All we're gonna do is create space for you so that you can take these drones, and that's reflected in the scores. I mean, 10k for Mango, not even above 3k for everyone else, means that everyone else was just spending all their time scrapping, fighting, creating space so that Mango could sit back in his chair, close his eyes, and still be able to, you know, create value for their team. So, really good play, really good map strategy. And I mean, Radiance losing what I consider a must-win. We're gonna have to see how they want to recover from this. Again, you know, falling 2-0, you lose your counter pick. What's gonna happen? What do you think? What are you thinking here? Right? You have to have another counter pick in the bag, but it's between Eagle and Croissant Arena. And I mean, Croissant Arena, I'm starting to consider not even a counter pick either, due to how much teams actually love this map. So we're gonna have to see what they want to adjust. You get an outfit change by Mikey, and we're just playing the waiting game. So right, if I'm Radiance in this spot, lost game 1 really badly, lost game 2 in a way that, you know, we slowly got choked out. Coming into game 3, must win. I'm not quite sure, right? What do we really want? Right? Do we want to take them back to WNA? Do we want to be like, hey, no, we're gonna play better than you on this map, and we're gonna take this win? I mean, no, we can't really do that because they've been playing on fire this whole night. We got 2 weapons. We got 2 character changes here. Interesting. You can say, all right, run it back Shinobi, but WNX showed that they have a really solid game plan for Shinobi City, and taking someone who just played the map back to that same map just for them to repeat the same strategy, you know, I would be against that either. And Croissant Arena, I mean, it's a relatively neutral stage. They can try, but I feel like WNX is one of the maps that they're relatively comfortable on, as you know, most teams end up being, considering that people have started, you know, flocking to that map, like, you know, actually for, you know, willingly playing that map instead of WNA, which everyone just played because, you know, it's been in the game since launch. And I mean, Eagle City is probably the best bet, but again, right, it's not a standard map, and if your team isn't going to be comfortable on it, you don't want to pick it, especially in a must-win game where you want your team to be comfortable more than, you know, you want to execute game plan strategies, because getting your team comfortable makes them play better. And it seems like against my personal wishes, they're running it back to WNA Academy. Got some weapon swaps. I'm expecting double hammer caliber katana. We'll see what Radiance wants to come out with, and I mean, this is a must win. Absolutely. So caliber katana, you see Mikey with the hammer, Natek. Nope, they're going full offense this time. They say, okay, we see We see your offense, WNX. We see how you're pressuring us constantly, so we're going to do the same. Double Katana is a really threatening comp because both of them can cover each other and they both can be self-sufficient. Similarly, you know, Caliber, an extremely strong weapon in this region, can create, you know, has a lot of value. Parry breaking, just standard play, getting people off drones. Punishing Blade, of course, can turn the game, turn the tides of battle in that team's favor. I'm liking what they're coming out with, but again, as I said previously, as I said before the match started, can they execute properly? Because it's not about, they know, right? They know what all these teams know when it comes to playing these comps. It's just a question of can they execute it in the game. So again, relatively standard start for both teams, and we're looking for fights right out the gate. Someone quiet, like someone who's been relatively quiet, who I haven't spectated much, but who's been really putting in work, is Dehe. You know, I mentioned that, you know, he's been serving a relative captain role for this team as he is a veteran, keeping these players' heads in check and making sure that they're doing what they need to do. And he's been playing a big role in their wins. But Pumpkin starting off this match with a quick E-pawn. Dehe misses the conversion and Pumpkin punishes right back. And again, another start that should be going in the way of Radiance, but it's not that big of a lead. Look at how they're fighting. Good power buster by Mango, but Mikey fires right back and gets the E-pawn on the good net by Natek. Excellent play. Death right now under pressure. Mikey getting contested by OctoKid. Radiance managed to get the drone. Deadhead gets E-pawn, and Radiance showing signs of life in the series. Good hit, good tornado, good conversion, and hey, you know, they're tired of playing games. This is the Radiance that came to play this series. They just need to continue with this performance. Excellent KO on Chris, and finally we're getting room to breathe for their hammer. Finally, they're making individual plays more than WNX, and we got a game on their hands. Punishing Blade by OctoKid though. No. Not around Radiance. No. Excellent collapse. Excellent punish. Shuts down the ninjutsu and then some. Dehe gets saved by their teammates, but Death says, nope, you're not getting away this time. Gets the conversion that Pumpkin left. Pumpkin again on fire. On absolute fire this game, and as I said, you know, when they're cooking, the whole team is cooking. Punishing Blade coming up, this could make or break, and right now they're in their spawn. WNX finding themselves caged in their own spawn, having to fight their way out instead of being given free real estate. Pumpkin gets bind by Chris with the stealing hyena, but Chris doesn't turn around for it, or doesn't tell their teammates to go respond. I think that's an honest mistake. Right, you don't want Pumpkin to be on the map. Good tornado by Death to get Death. Good snipe by Pumpkin on OctoKid. Good KO by Death to win the parry. Mikey gets the Tenshi on Mango, and even with all these plays happening, just look at the score. This is an even game still, right? Even with everything going Radiance's way, they're just not converting on actually securing these drones. As I say that, Punishing Blade manages to steal the big drone, but Pumpkin will pay with their life. Not quite an even trade, but it's a trade nonetheless. Good tornado by Chris just to say, get off me. No follow-up conversion, but good hyena bind and good E-pawn. Mango wins the drone in the corner against Mikey, and trying to beat Mikey to the chase. We're going to get Tenshi very soon, so that's going to be the make or break. Natek falls. Death about to fall as well. No weapon due to weapon break. And WNX is trying to put a damper on Radiance's parade. They came out of the gates cooking, but we're going to have to see if they're able to secure it. 15 seconds left, 1k lead. This might come down to bonuses if WNX can't actually secure a lead. 1k lead. Now that we're breaking even, Radiance with the lead and bonuses. But I don't think it's gonna matter. Look at Radiance Death. One of the players that I said at the beginning of the game, beginning of the match, that would play a major factor. 4-8 scoreline. 4-8. Say it one more time. 4-8 over the course of this game. An extremely good performance, extremely good show of individual play, and Radiance is going to walk away with a win, and they're going to get some life in the series. Really good, really good, really good. You know, as I said, right, Pumpkin came out of the gates firing, and that's just, it's like sending out the flare to the rest of the team, like, hey, you know, it's time for us to show up, and it's time for us to play, you know, lead by example, and that's what Pumpkin does best. Really good, really good play across. And I mean, even though Radiance, you know, they kind of fumbled the lead that they had, maintaining a 2K lead on WNX Academy is not an easy thing to do by far, because of how easily lead swings can happen. And you saw they really had that 2K lead, and they really fought to hold on to it, and they never really let it go. You know, even though they weren't able to actually grow their lead, the fact that they never lost the lead in a terrible manner, extremely good. Like, when we're talking about closing games, these past 2 games, like, you can say regardless of how close these games have been or how far these games have been, so on and so forth, these teams today, when it comes to closing out these games, has been the best so far, best to date in best games to date in ENL. These last couple of series, you've just been seeing 3K, 4K, 5K, 6K, you know, 7K point comebacks and maps where the game should have been over a long time ago. But, you know, because some of these teams don't properly close these games out, it allows their enemy to actually get back in the game. But this time, Radiance, Power Made, WNX, when they put the clamps on, when they say the game ends, when they say the game is over, the game is over. And they've done a really good job. So, WNX decides, if you won't take us to Croissant Arena, we'll go to Croissant Arena ourselves. And they're going to be coming out of the gate with a strong game plan that I'm sure they have cooked up from practicing on this map. Radiance, on the other side of things, how are they going to adjust? I know, you know, I've seen some of these players' individual plays, you know, when they're playing, you know, teams, playing BR, you know, they do enjoy playing on this map. You know, this map isn't any stranger to anyone, but playing against a coordinated team as a coordinated team is a whole lot different. So we'll see. This is the aggressive start to this map, where teams take 2v2s at mouth instead of spreading out across the map and making sure to secure the individual drones on their side of the map. But good read by Chris. And this is going to be an early start for WNX, an early lead for WNX, which on this map is not exactly what you want to be facing off against. And it seems Natex switched off of the hammer. On Katana? Oh, no. Mikey is on hammer responsibility. I'm sorry. Mikey's on hammer responsibility. Natek with the Katana. Speaking of which, good conversion on the Epon by Death. Good setup. Chris, again, having Pumpkin's number. And WNX really increasing their lead. Another bind, and this is another Epon by Chris. Chris, not happy about Death's performance. You know, it felt that their number 1 Katana in the match was put their position as the number 1 Katana in this match was getting threatened. So they really are trying to prove that, hey, I'm the best Katana player in this lobby right now. Punishing Blade by OctoKid. Again, as I always state, I'll state from now to the end of time. Right, first Punishing Blade is the most important. So we're gonna stay with OctoKid for a bit and see what value they're gonna get. Good decision to feed the drone to. Oh. This is a prime Punishing Blade. Oh, this could be terrible. Oh, wow. Okay, that could have been such a bad situation for Radiance, but good awareness to know that, hey, this Punishing Blade needs to go. Otherwise, we are going to lose. That could have very easily been a 4K. So good play by Radiance to kind of end the hopes and dreams of any kind of big highlight play for OctoKid. Good bag, but a little bit of miscommunication because they used Tornado at the same time, but it ain't no problem. Radiance having to deal with a 2K deficit. Chris goes down. Deadhead coming off respawn. OctoKid goes down to Pumpkin. 3K deficit? I mean, this is doable. But these plays need to start happening. They need to start happening now. Big drones are starting to spawn, and if WNX gets control of these, then this can easily spell the end of the game. Good Punishing Blade, but Chris is not having any of it. good bind, good net thrown, and Pumpkin dodged the punishing blade. Let's see, can Death hit? Tornado? Oh man, good play by Death. I guarantee you they were mashing that tornado button trying to get out of there as soon as possible, and then they managed to do so, get an Epon on the way out, and walk away with their life. Natek misses the follow-up conversion on Dehe, who's low HP, stealing Hyena range, but you get value enough. Now they're just playing footsies around this drone, but guess whose team showed up first? RIP Death. Very ironic statement, but it is what it is. Good tornado by Chris, and again, Chris really not happy about getting outshone by Death last game. Really trying to make a statement out of this game. Good bag by Mikey. That's a double bag by Mikey if I recall correctly, but it might be too little too late. This is a 5K lead. They need to make plays, and they need to make plays now. Radiance. I mean, this might come down to bonuses. They need to secure these big drones. Radiance, you have to go to these big drones. You can't be sticking around for these fights. This is a 2K lead, and 8 seconds left. Nope, like the points for Radiance aren't changing, so it seems like they're just gonna walk away with the loss. Chris, especially since Chris grabs one more Epon than Mango, or than Death, and I mean Radiance. Unfortunately, you're gonna fall in the series 1-3. I talk about closing games very well, and like WNX, that game almost got away from them, but they buckled down. They determined where their priorities lay, and they figured like, hey, in order for us to win this game, we need to stop taking these aggressive plays. We need to make sure we get these big drones, and they really did a good job in doing just that. On Radiance's side of things, I mean, they were making the space, they were getting the Epons, they were getting the KOs, they were making the plays, but the plays never actually converted into the objectives on the map. Getting a KO can only bring you so far when the collective total of drones on the map will get you more points if those get secured regardless. So what I like to call a true tragedy in that this game for Radiance was entirely winnable. This could have very easily been a game 5, but unfortunately for them, they're gonna lose this one 1-3.